I'm in the room with her physical body. I don't feel or see her soul in that room, but I do everywhere else.
Here's the deal. We're two moms and we popped babies out in our 40s. And it's hard. It was hard.
It's also the best thing that's ever happened to either one of us.
Yeah, but now we're moms in our 40s.
In our 40s.
With preschoolers.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Let's bring the community together of women.
All the moms, 40, 20, 9. It's not really nice.
And also, like, let's just talk about, like, real shit. Real life, real women shit.
Yeah, real women shit. Let's do that.
Shit's hard. And also, it's funny. They don't.
Let me just pull my bush out of my bush.
Cheers.
Cheers. Unfiltered.
Because if you want a show, we're a shit show. We're here for you.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mature-ish Mamas, Life Unfiltered. The second we press record, the children they will come a-running.
Yeah.
Mom,
I know.
you're so beautiful. I love you.
I love you. Let me sit on your lap. Let me. I know. Let me just get on my spit all over. Yeah.
Good morning, sunshines.
Good morning.
We're just here licking the mic.
Welcome, mamas.
Okay. So we're not going through any trauma in our lives currently. And what we think we'll do, instead of starting with that, we're going to start out with pullover stories.
Yeah.
Not pull-out stories, which I am writing about right now in my book.
Pull-out stories?
Yeah. To the world.
What kind of pull-out? Which one?
The only
what are you pulling out?
The only one I don't know how to pull out, but someone else does.
You mean it?
And
like pulling out of your parking spot?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then that's one of the second chapter in my book, and I was just like, is this going to be too much?
No,
and not the right amount, right?
Yeah. You full on drive when you go. You just I mean,
and you pull out when you need to pull out.
Yeah. Why pretend that you're anything less than this wonderful, amazing, sharing, open book human that you are?
I know. You guys, we do have kind of like conversations about this. We're like, how much and how real do we want to be? Because some people get a little bit intimidated by, not intimidated, but like.
Well, we can be kind of maybe intense.
Yeah.
In ways.
Or they're like, I don't want to talk about pulling out.
Or I don't want to talk about pulling out.
And then you think about.
You're like, hi, my name's Megan. So.
Birth control method for me.
Have you guys ever done that before?
And that's just, like a casual Sunday morning conversation with friends.
Yeah, right after church.
Yep, or maybe not. You just met them. So it's like there's a hard question. Like, and we know people and humans that we love are going to watch this and they're going to be like, what the fuck are our children talking about? But you get us, all of us.
Yeah. That's why it's unfiltered. Like, it's right in the title, so you know.
Maybe
there is no not knowing what's going to happen here.
We haven't figured out what the right intro for us is yet, and maybe it's just a disclaimer. Like, if you are family members or friends who prefer a certain type of conversation, do not. We can meh, 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 do not listen. We could just have that.
Warning.
Do not listen to this.
Yeah. If
yeah,
you are sensitive to dirty talk or even deep conversations.
If you don't want to see us cry, don't be here, because we're gonna
every episode probably at least once
from laughter or sad, we're not really sure. We will release an emotion in our conversation.
Strong emotion will come.
Yeah. So we might want to do a warning. And then we could also have the side effects may include laughter, improving your life, finding yourself, becoming a better mother, finding a bigger community, meeting more friends,
exploring who you are. Loving yourself, loving your humans more, harder, better, stronger, better, harder.
And blowing on your friends, blowing the light in your friends. I think we just found our intro. If that wasn't professional enough for you, though, and you make those, could you just reach out to us and knob one of those up for us?
Help us knob it pro-wise, professionality.
Pro-knob it.
Pro-knob it.
Okay. So
we'll pay you just like a hooker. Pro-knobbing.
I guess we did need to get out a little bit of laughter because it has been dark.
Yeah, heavy.
Oh my gosh, I'm hot. It's hot in
You
here.
are hot.
Thank you.
You are.
That's
Damn,
feeling
girl.
hot in her.
Damn.
Ooh, ooh.
That's Johnny's old. He used to, when we were first dating, he
Yeah.
used to speak into the microphone. He'd be like, damn, girl. Damn.
I just saw pictures of Maggie's husband Johnny, not my husband Johnny, and his younger years,
Yeah.
his high school years. I was like, oh, I don't know. I just didn't expect him.
I know that bowl cut.
Yeah.
I know. Parted in the middle. He was rocking the middle part before it was cool.
Or after it was cool. I'm not sure which one.
Both,
But
probably.
but he did it, and he did it with confidence, and he spoke into his fake mic.
Yep, he did.
That's our boy.
Isn't he cute?
He is so
He was
cute.
so cute.
Oh,
He still
my
is so
gosh.
cute. I just love his guts.
I love his guts.
Yep.
Do we want to tell funny stories, or do we want to talk about life at this point? What do you think? You're the boss, Megs.
Ooh.
I kind of like this. Actually, plot twist. Here's what we're
right. Let's you know what? Let's just get right into it. Like, we don't need to. I think what we did was pretty funny to start with. We
Yeah.
need a little laughter.
Yep.
But
You guys are ready. You're prepped.
it's prepped. Yeah, because listen, we go from one extreme to the other, and here it goes. Here's the new extreme. We're talking about, we're in our 40s. We're in our 40s. Our kids are young.
Maggie turned 44 2 days ago. Happy
44.
40. And just so you guys know, 44 is when life really starts spiritually and just like you really just like open up to the world. So Meg,
Here
welcome.
I am. Here I am.
Yep. And it's opening with a bang.
Oh,
Okay.
bang. Yeah, 44. And Cal, too. She just had a birthday a couple weeks ago. 45.
Capricorn twins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, 44. We're starting out 44 just a couple days ago. And it's been a whirlwind of death recently. So that's been real heavy, which we'll get to. But also, being 44, that means our parents are 70s. Getting up there. Your mom just turned 70.
Yeah.
My parents are both 70 already. They'll be 71 this 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And, just navigating what it's like to have young kids and older parents and
Yeah.
being in this stage of also parenthood with that,
Right.
because you're starting to have to, you're just really in the deep end of the pool taking care of your kids, but also now having to tread in the wading pool with your parents, taking care of them.
Wow.
So we're going to talk about that.
Perfectly stated. And it's interesting because we were just at a funeral 4 days ago together. We'll talk more about those. But as I'm sitting there and I'm watching Megs beautifully present and speak about her father-in-law from the front, and I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, wow, like how many funerals are we going to experience together as older moms? And that was never, ever a thought that crossed my mind with my friends when I had my babies in my 20s. I mean, I'm trying to think of with the littles, with the biggles when they were little, biggles when they were littles. Back when I was 20 and we had the little ones, they, the only real like death and funeral that I remember them going through into was just my grandma's.
Mm-hmm.
And I never was like, oh, think about all the different things I'm going to experience. And then I'm just sitting here watching Megs up there thinking, wow, this is the first
kind of the
together.
beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the beginning of this chapter of life that we all experience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all go through it, and it's kind of funny being the age that I am now, and I don't know if this is true for you, but being able to look back a little bit now that I'm mature-ish. I feel like I've been an adult half my life and a kid half my life now. You know what I mean? So it's like I can look back and have these adult things and see kind of the phases that have happened and how it is a commonality along everyone's kind of timeline.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Where it's like everyone was getting married and then everyone was having babies and then people were now getting divorced.
Yeah.
And
And then having more babies.
yeah, and then having more babies or like getting new girlfriends or like going on these new adventures. And then now it's like, oh, shit, our parents are getting older.
Mhm.
And
They
unfortunately,
have cancer. They have cancer. They have
Yeah,
cancer. They're
yeah.
sick.
Ailments and things that are like just a whole new chapter that we have to navigate through, which is another reason we need our people.
Mm-hmm.
We
Our
need our
community.
people, because I've found that in these hard times, I'll be honest, it's not an easy thing for me to say I need help. I need you. I need
So you're a
you to help
woman.
me. So I am a woman,
Mm-hmm.
um, and a grown woman, and I'm the oldest in my family, and I've always been the helper. And so that's something that's hard, but I don't know what the fear around that is for us as women, especially,
Right.
um, but once you do it, once it's been said and it's out there, it's not scary. And
Once you ask for help.
yeah,
Yeah.
once you just say, "Hey, I'm hurting, or I need help, or I need a hug," or whatever that is that you are needing, because I've also found sometimes I set myself up for disappointment because I was having the feeling that people should anticipate what I need.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just not reality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just can't know what everybody needs all the time, especially when we're all going through shit.
So, and I think a
all the
lot of
time.
times when you're on the giving side, when you see someone and you like, I think that they probably need something, but I don't know what they need, and I'm probably going to say it wrong. I'm going to do it wrong. I'm going to show up wrong. So instead, I'm just going to sit back and wait for them to ask, which is fine, which is okay because you don't know. But it's like opening the communication for, hey, I'm here for you. What do you need? And I need help. This is what I need.
Yeah, both sides of those things are
Mm-hmm.
super important for sure. Yeah, being able to say, I love you. And I think it's also really nice to say, I love you and I'm here for you. And less of like, well, let me know if you need anything.
Yeah, I like
You
that.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I'm here for you and I love you. And just continue to say that to them, especially to their face.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that also, I think, opens up a heart line, heart to heart, saying, okay, this is a safe space to say, I really need you. I
Mhm.
really need this. So I'm learning how to do that. And it's been beautiful and it's been awesome. And it's helped me to be even more grateful for the people that I already have in my life. You
Right.
know what I mean? And
Yeah.
who have really come through and who are seeing me and saying, I love you
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
through all this shit.
All the stuff.
Yeah.
All the heavy and the deep.
Yeah.
I was thinking about as I was coming home from the hospital last night, just because there's more. I was just thinking about like my transition of friendships from my younger years, which are beautiful and purposeful and served exactly how they were supposed to, with joy and maybe support in raising my bigs, or first careers, and trying to navigate marriage for those first
Oh, we're gonna have to talk
semi
about that
awful
too
11 years. Like it's just like like all the hard stuff. But then I was like, this next chapter of these relationships that I get to intentionally and purposely create, because otherwise they're not just going to show up, you guys.
Yeah.
Like your tribe of true supporters isn't just, I don't think, at least not for me, just going to like arrive. I mean, I guess you did just arrive, but I had to see you there. They're probably
Right.
there, but
Yeah.
you have to acknowledge.
Yeah, you have to pull that in a little bit harder than you maybe used to have to do.
Yeah.
Just be really intentional.
Intentional. So if you're a mom like us who's older, or just a woman who's like, where are my people? Where are my friends? I used to have in my 20s, it's like I look at our bunco groups and all of us. I mean, like there were always 30 people in every picture.
Yeah.
It was this big, rowdy, fun tribe going through minimal life experiences, maximum fun. And that was a freaking cool chapter.
No kidding.
Love.
And that's exactly what it was for.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And here we are, where it's like sometimes you look around, I'm like, oh, there's a Broncos game, back when the Broncos used to be in this season, not anymore. And like, who should we invite over? And you like look at your hand, you're like, well, there's not maybe enough people to fit on the one hand, and that's with intention. Like that's with like purposely going out and being proactive. And like, I know it's like you kind of like make a friend. You're like, hey, but do you want to hang out? No, for reals. Do you want to hang out? Do you want to get coffee? Do you want to go to the park? Do you want to?
Right. Because I think too, because in your 20s, or at least for me, for us, I believe, is a lot of that was centered around like partying because it was that and that was fun and that's what that was for. And now to show up as a friend, it's less about that. It's truly about the quality of the friendship now. And
Connection.
the connection and the just like what we're about to talk about, being there for all the things, not just the fun, but for all the moments and finding balance with that for each other.
That's interesting for me to think about because as I reflect upon some of my friendships in my 20s, especially like all of those, like I picture the group of 30, right? Where there were a couple close connections, but now when I make a connection, I guess I'll call myself a little snotty or picky about it.
Yeah,
Picky, or particular.
Particular.
Because we're
Very.
mature-ish.
Mature-ish.
Particular.
Yeah.
Because I will only allow myself to be in the presence on a continuous basis of certain type of people who I think are going to influence me in the direction I want my life to move. And that doesn't mean that I don't care for and acknowledge where other people are in the space in their life. But it does mean that if someone's continuously complaining or negative or talking poorly about others, I'm probably just not I'm going to remove myself from that space.
Yeah.
So as you said that, I'm looking at my previous conversations. I don't think I really ever bothered to get deep with very many, more than just probably two, a couple, two or three.
Yeah.
So it was kind of the same situation with a lot of fluff on the outside, a fun fluff.
Fun fluff.
I had fun fluff. And now I have less fun fluff, a little fun fluff. But like, I feel like I do get deep with most people and find the attributes that I love and then choose to be around the people where I think that we are embracing each other and supporting each other in moving forward and or remaining in a positive direction in our lives.
Yeah, totally. It's definitely more for me too, as well, about the energy and the things that the people bring to the space that we're holding together. Yeah. And if it's a lot easier to see that, I feel like now too, like, and plus I think you kind of just learn as you grow, as a human, those things that it's like, what friendship really is truly about and how you can spot those things faster and easier and say, okay, these are my humans. Because when you do find your humans who can be in those deep core spaces with you, they also usually are the people who bring the fun fluff as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? 'Cause
Absolutely.
it's like, okay, we can get down and dirty like we do here in this, where we are going to cry. And then we're going to say something really dirty, and then we're going to laugh our faces off because we have the humor of 13-year-old middle school boys.
And that's just the way God made us.
Yeah.
And two, when you were saying that, it's making me think about how different groups of friends, there's no right way, there's no good way, there's no better way or better way of being. So there's going to be certain friendship groups that look one way and then others that look another way. And I know that we're not in high school, ladies, anymore. Unless you're in high school and you're watching, that's cool too. Way to be advanced and like really step into your being. But we're not like trying to compare a thing like, oh, why am I not invited to their group or to their space? If you want to be in their group or their space, you can intentionally ask or bring yourself into it and then feel what it's like, and you'll know if you guys aren't making a connection. You'll know if there's something that's off. That's just why you don't hang out as much, and that's cool too. So like really being aware of yourself and who you're with, and again, it just comes back to the word intentional.
Yeah, and remember, I'll bring it back. Remember, we had that conversation when we went to the paint and sip about geometrical friendships, is what we called it, where you find your shapes.
Oh yeah.
And
I was like, how many cocktails did I have at that paint and sip? I remember now.
Couple. Yeah, but we had a couple
cocktails.
But yeah, but it like just made so much sense at that point where it was like, all kinds of shapes can be friends. All kinds of shapes. But when you're with your circles, you know that those are your circles.
Yep.
Or if you're a triangle and you find your triangles, oh, that's like the best
It's a
feeling
sweet
because it just
spot.
fits so well. But you can also have squares and octagons as friends.
Now it cracks me up. You guys imagine us like with, 8 other women, and we're there doing our paint and sip, and we're painting something rather ridiculous, I'm sure of.
Yeah, not what was on the, like, we just like fully rogued it.
We don't do, they do what they do, and then we do what we do. That was actually one of my memories that came up yesterday. One of my first viral videos was me like saying how I don't follow directions well, and it shows their picture and it scans the room and then shows mine that's completely different. Yeah. And then the comments were just like, oh my gosh, you think you're so much better than you because you think you're different. And blah, blah. Like the trolls were like, and I was like, cool. Yeah. Just keep commenting, trolls. Like, I don't, whatever. Yeah. But so we're there, we're doing all our own things, and then we're having this. Yep.
They're having a good time.
Our children they're in play zone.
They're playing.
Yeah. And we're sitting there and we're getting down and deep in a philosophical conversation about different shapes because we are preschool moms in our 40s and that's what we do.
Yep.
Found my, I don't know what we are, a rhombus?
Oh, rhombus sounds nice.
That sounds interesting.
I like big rhombus. I cannot lie.
Have you guys heard that one? Produced by Cal and Megs.
Cal and Megs. It's going to be on Sesame Street soon.
We would be so good on Sesame Street.
Oh, yeah.
That's still going, right? Let's ask.
It is still going.
We speak decent Spanish. We could bring something to the table.
Yep. Yeah.
Al
for
mesa.
Sure. Hola. ¿Dónde está?
El baño. Bebida, margarita.
Yeah, you actually do speak Spanish pretty fluently.
Once we get to Mexico,
like conversational
and
Spanish, you're good at.
I try.
I just am like, I can tell you how to open and close your mouth, stick out your tongue. Where's the bathroom? And I need another drink. Por favor.
Now, if you don't know that you used to be in the dental region and you worked in mouths, that was interesting for everybody to hear. I'm gonna go ahead and clip that one.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a clip. Thank you, Megs.
Yeah. I did work in dentistry for.
Does it make more sense now?
I hope so.
Yeah, it probably did before too. Now it just makes sense in a different way.
Yep,
multiple ways.
Multiple ways.
Johnny's not Spanish, so in case you guys, if that's where your mind was going.
Nope.
So there's that.
Nope.
Okay. So finding your tribe, I guess that's the first point I think of us like really getting to is being intentional. Wow, we're intentionable. Let's just go with it, you guys.
We make up words
too.
Be
very intentionable.
Mm-hmm. Do it.
With your friendships and proactively seek a community. And if you're saying right now, like it's just too hard and I haven't found my people, just don't give up. Like keep pushing forward.
Comment here. There's going to be people here that you're going to connect with. Because if anybody is watching this... you guys are going to be...
I don't know which one the chirp is. No, that's not it.
Okay, let me do it again. Ready?
Okay. Wait. Okay.
If anybody is watching this...
You're welcome.
You have already sort of found some of your people. If you are all here together, because if you are a part of this crazy,
welcome,
and you're enjoying it, you've already found some of your people.
Yeah, you're settling into your shapes.
Say, hey, I need this, or let's talk about this, or hey, I'm going through this, or I live here.
Yeah, I'm from here. I'm on this social media.
I have this many kids.
Yeah.
My kids are this age or whatever that is. So,
and I'm going to be in your face about one thing before we get to the darker part of the conversation. But if you also find yourself feeling that way on a continual basis, I am going to invite you to reflect upon your attitude that you're in. And the space that you're in, you might be stuck. You might be stuck in a space right now where you're just like, I'm stuck in it. I'm stuck in pessimism. I'm stuck in judgment. I'm stuck
sticky. It's easy to get stuck.
It is. Yeah. And you just like, I just feel, ugh. And if that's where you're at right now, it honestly, like people are going to run because not a lot of people want to get stuck. And the people who are going to get stuck with you, it's probably not who you want to be with. So I just encourage you to continue to say your gratitudes all the time, every day, every time you feel stuck, every time you feel negative, every time you feel pessimistic. Look around the room, find something as awesome as a paint scraper and think like, man, I'm so freaking thankful for this guy. It flattens out my puzzles. It helps us do construction work. I could probably flip a pizza if I wanted to with it. I could, a lot of things. And I'm so grateful for that. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Like start saying your gratitudes. You will start to take transformation and you'll see relationships change. So just...
Yeah, that was great. I think that's good. Good. Yeah. Great. Yep.
So death.
This being this age, death is coming around us.
It's like circling.
Yeah. So I'll just start because it started with with me. I feel like not me,
Yeah.
but
No.
in our
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah.
And it just all of a sudden kept coming and coming. So in October, we lost my husband's maternal grandmother, which sucked. She just sucked. And then about a month later, my husband's dad passed away kind of unexpectedly. Well, I mean, I feel like it's always unexpected, right? Like, even if you're expecting it, it's not like today's the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then we lost him.
Will you just share with them, just because I feel like it is really a connection piece,
Yeah.
where you were for
Yeah.
both of both of those
Yes. So,
experiences?
October, we actually were taking our first family vacation with Callie, with the Carols.
Yep.
It was awesome. It was
First
an
family
amazing,
vacay.
amazing
Last minute trip to
experience.
Mexico.
Last minute, like literally
2 days before.
2 days before
booking the hotel.
Yeah. So it was incredible. We were hyped. We were stoked to be there. It was so fun. We'd gotten in. It was the next day. We'd had a great day. Beautiful day. Been at the pool a bunch, and then we're getting ready for dinner. And the boys were back. The Johns were back at our little spot, and they were getting ready for dinner. And Cal and I had just taken the boys. We had this awesome room right next to the little baby pool playground, and we were just letting the boys run off some steam before dinner, and they're playing in the baby pool. And Cal just kind of looked over at me, and she was like, "Why don't you run in and go get ready? Like, you can take a shower first, and I'll stick here with the boys." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a great idea." And I walk into the room, and my husband is sitting at the table crying. And, so your heart just drops into your stomach, and you're like thinking all the worst things, of course. And it was one of those worst things. And he was on the phone. And so I kind of picked up what was going on, and then he got off the phone, and I just held him, and he got to cry. Him and I got to spend that moment together, which was what was needed. And not even, it wasn't planned, of course, but gosh, thank God, the universe, everything, for the way that it came about that way, so that I was able to just be there with him.
And you think that just brings us right back to the community, because we've been cousins since my dad married her dad's brother. Like, I mean, so we've known each other since we were little.
Her
and
mom married my dad's brother, not her dad. But hey, 2 dads is cool too. Whatever
I was thinking
just
this morning how beautiful. I'm like, how beautiful is that? Like, Vicky's both of our aunt.
I know.
I don't know why that was just like this. Like, I mean, we know this. Point being, we have been we've been family forever, but
we were kids.
We really had to make an intentional choice of connection and relationship and friendship, and then really hold on to it, because we get so busy with kids and life and stuff. And we would just be like, no, we even said, we're like, we know that we're not going to do good at this. So every Friday, let's plan on having a little get together, kids, dogs, just be able to be in each other's presence. And because of that, a year ago, and what we developed, we end up on this wild trip, and we got to be together. And then I got to be there with Caston while you and John could console each other in solitude, instead of having to do that in front of your baby.
Yeah.
Like, what a setup. Like, the year-long
kidding.
setup. Thank you, God.
Seriously, no kidding. Has it only been a year?
Yeah, because the dogs, I know, right? Because the dogs were 3 months. So a year and like 3 months now.
That's incredible.
Seems like,
It's,
yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, yes, my husband and I got to spend that moment, just the two of us, which was so incredible and so needed. And then, we were in Mexico, and she had already passed. There was no reason to come right back at that moment. And so, in a moment of loss and real sadness, we were able to also embrace joy and having each other and living and intentionally living, even though we had lost someone who was no longer going to be living with us.
And
so
that just, if we could empower people to allow themselves to see joy, find joy, feel joy, allow for grandma's joy to be in Johnny and you at that time. Like, that's a really a really big deal when people can step into that. And that we're not ignoring grief by any means. There's been plenty of grief we've been processing through, and you guys have been processing through for a while, but still, getting that time together was very special.
It was very special. And very needed because we had no idea what was coming up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's so nice to be able to, through this whole process, when we'll get to an ending point at some point, but through this whole process, it's been incredible to have some of the highest and lowest points of even just this journey be in these moments. You know what I mean? Because life is really about balance, and to be really low, it's horrible. Like we were just saying, it's sticky down there. It's sticky. It wants you to stay, and it doesn't want you to leave because it's lonely, you know? So it's like to be able to go down there and then be lifted back up into this incredible joy, these incredible moments of true gratitude, and having something that we can go back on to remember people and grief, but also have these really incredibly fun and loving times, in the same area, in the same memories,
Does that not just tie you right back into the Proof of Life book that we're reading? Like, as you were saying it, I was like, she's describing a huge chapter or multiple chapters of this book, which we'll talk about some point at the end. The Proof of Life by
Proof of Heaven.
Proof of Heaven by Eben somebody.
Flo. Just kidding.
Eben Flo. We'll figure that out. Anyways,
yeah, we're not good at remembering
the push and pull, the grief and joy.
Yeah. But it was like boom, 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 boom. Like it was doing it.
And you know what? Intentionally, like life was showing up for you at these occasions. So the next passing, another occasion.
Passing. Yep. So another occasion.
There was one in between. No, there was one after.
After.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So next one was John's dad. So Johnny has two dads, which is really cool. He has a dad, Alan Lenfer, who is the man who raised Johnny. He adopted John when he was young. But John's biological father is also still in the picture. He just lives in another country. So John's lucky. We're all lucky because we have both of them. And that's really cool. So, but Alan was the man who raised John when he was young through high school. And still, obviously, even as an adult, that's still his dad. So anyways, we lost Johnny's dad on John's birthday this last year, which, when you say it out loud, sounds so sad. It just sounds so sad. Like, my dad died on my birthday. You know what I mean?
And you could really choose to embrace that sticky sadness. Yeah. If you wanted.
Yeah. And that's okay if that's what you want to do. That's okay. That's it, because that is sad. But it was like the way that it happened was a 24-hour thing. It had started the night before, and that was quite the experience of chaos in some ways, because it was John's dad, Alan, lives in Arizona, and we're in Colorado, and Johnny wanted to go and be with his dad. So his heart had stopped and he was on a ventilator, and he wanted to go and be with his dad. So we were going to get right on a plane and go out there because, it's a 2-hour flight. But it just so happened that in early November in Colorado, we had one of the worst snowstorms we've ever had in November.
Yeah. Not a snowstorm that y'all are like, oh, look at it snowed a foot. You're like, no, this was
planes were grounded. We couldn't get a flight.
Couldn't drive over the pass?
Nope. The I-25 was closed because of the storm. So there was no way to physically have our bodies next to Alan. And that, again, is when I believe in there is no coincidence. There is no such thing as coincidence. This was an intentional thing that was supposed to happen this way. And in the moment, it's hard and it sucks, and you feel confused and sad and angry in some ways about that. But so you're just trying to figure out what to do, So that happened Friday. That was Friday night, like during the day. Overnight, we wake up the next day. Alan is still being kept alive from the ventilator, but that was the morning. That morning, John and his sister had to make the decision on if they were going to let him pass on the ventilator or get him comfortable and let him pass naturally. And this was like since the moment we woke up then and we were saying, talking to him on the phone, talking to him through the phone, not and making those decisions. And that was John's birthday, and we had these huge plans, these really amazing plans.
Maggie's a really good wife, you guys.
Well, also because Johnny has connections
That's
through
true.
work.
That's
so that
true,
was
yeah.
like a really cool thing. We had this really cool plan set up for the day, not knowing that this was going to be part of that plan. John especially was really struggling with what to do with that, saying in some ways he didn't feel right to celebrate, or he wasn't in a space to be happy almost in some ways. He didn't want to allow himself to be happy at that moment. I think too, let me say that John, I think, didn't feel like he wanted to celebrate in a space where his dad was on a ventilator. His dad was in the process of passing.
Yeah.
So the gift that Alan gave Johnny was that he passed before any of our plans had happened in that morning. And that was a beautiful gift because it allowed John to let his dad pass, and then everyone encouraged him to go celebrate. And then John said, I do want to celebrate. I want to celebrate my dad's life and my life together. And that's exactly what we did. And it was awesome. It was beautiful. He was there the whole time with us. There were so many things that we saw that just were a validation that Alan was there and we were celebrating with him, because out of everyone in John's life, Alan would have been the one that said, you better not sit at home.
Yeah.
You better get out there and have a good
Go
time.
do it.
And I'm coming.
Yeah. And that's it's one of those reminders, and I don't know where your belief system is on this topic, but we'll continue to speak into you what we've seen, heard, read, experienced. But your soul doesn't leave. Your body might be done. Your body might be, it might be your body's time, but your soul is there. And this is why when people pass, there's these remarkable signs that people sometimes like to call a coincidence, but it's them doing their best to be like, hey, you dumb little human, I'm still here. Are you looking up? Did you see what were some of the things?
Well, there was an eagle that I actually asked to see, and it was there.
And
it came.
That's a really good, you can do that if you're like confused about this. You can ask to see something like, I need support with this. Show me this. And it's not like you might not see, like, there probably wasn't an eagle in the building.
No. So what?
Caw-caw,
He
caw-caw.
flew through and landed on my shoulder.
Yeah. And then gave me a little kiss and said, it's me, Alan. Like, it's not
not
that
exactly
clear.
how
You got to
that
be a
works.
little
Yeah.
bit more receptive than that.
Yeah. So the ask that I had was, was taking my son. So Johnny decided, we're gonna go. I want to do this.
To celebrate.
Yeah, the celebration.
Oh, I love that.
And so my sister was gonna watch our son, and so I was driving him up to her house. She lives up north from us, and there's a road by like a reservoir that has these trees, and there was an eagle that used to be up at one of these trees. Hadn't seen it in a year, probably. And I drive down that road a lot, intentionally sometimes to see the eagle.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen him in a long time. And as there's a song that kept coming to my mind after Ellen passed. And it's a song I used to sing in church, in Catholic church growing up. And so I played it that day while Johnny was doing some things, and I had played that song, and it's the words are something like, I'll raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, and make you to shine like the sun. And that just kept coming to my mind. And so I had that for Al, like this, I'm playing this for you. And then, so I'm driving and I was like, okay, let me, I can't remember, but it's like, if you are safe or if you are,
At peace.
where you need to be, if you're here, if you're around us, show me that eagle. Let the eagle be at the tree.
Yeah.
And so I turned down the road, and then, you start talking yourself off a ledge. And I'm like, okay, if the eagle's not there, it's totally fine. It doesn't mean that he's not doing, that he's not where he's supposed to be. It doesn't
Right.
mean anything, Megan. Don't worry. Like, it's fine. So I'm like driving. And
It's
it's
been a
little
year
bit-
since you've seen it. And
a
you're just like,
year.
yeah, probably not going to happen
Yeah.
now.
So
Why
I
did
didn't
even
want,
say
yeah,
that?
right. Why would I set myself
Yeah.
up that way?
For failure.
Yeah. So I'm driving. And I'm getting closer to that tree because it's not like right there. And I'm looking because there's like, he always sits at the top. I'm looking and I'm like, oh my God. He's there. That eagle was there. That eagle was, I lost
I was
it.
going to say, did you start bawling your
Oh
face
my God.
off?
I bawled my face off.
And was Cassie like, Mommy, what's wrong? It's okay.
Thank goodness he's sleeping because it
Okay,
takes like
good.
an hour to get there.
Yeah.
Because he'd already, all that morning had already
Yeah.
been.
Yeah, enough.
So then I dropped him off at Mariah's and drove back down that same street like, oh, the eagle's going to be there. No, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's okay. I just need to see that. And I'm driving down the road and I'm listening to classic rock because that was Alan's favorite. And just kind of mindlessly driving. And all of a sudden, coming down the street, this van gets right in front of me, kind of cuts me off a little bit, with a huge eagle on the back. Huge. And I'm like, okay, Al, now you're just like
Now
playing.
you're jacking
Like
with
you're
me.
like, hey,
Yeah.
I want to see an eagle. Like, so-
I love that you point that out because that's definitely when people think that they're looking for a sign or for someone, it's not necessarily what you think it's going to be. Like I've had times where it's like, oh, I didn't realize it was going to be in a book or on a van or a bus or a sign or reading a kid's book. Like all of a sudden things still appear. So when like sometimes you'll pick something like weird, like an inchworm. And then all of a sudden, like there's a mother effing inchworm. You're
I
like,
know.
what?
I
like
know.
how I tried to pick something like that I wasn't going to like naturally go out and see. It's not rain season right now.
Yeah, right. It actually happened last night too on the way home from
It
the
did?
hospital. Yeah, it's a song that came on the radio, and the exact part of the song, it's not a song that you would ever be like, oh, it was a Pink song.
Ooh, sing it to me, girl.
Gosh, you know what?
No, we don't want to get copyright violated because you're such a good singer. That's what
That's
happened.
true. They
Yeah.
might think Pink entered the room. Long story longer. Okay. So anyways, we went and celebrated John's birthday and Alan's life, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was great.
Got some cool videos of them honoring him and both of them together. And, and I imagine as you were sharing that story that when Alan gave that gift to Johnny, it was like, I mean, honey, like go, I don't know if he probably didn't call his son honey, but like go and I will be there with you. Like that's what his message was. Like, let's go do life and celebrate life forevermore because my soul is not gone. My body may be, but my body was over there in Arizona. Now my soul is flying free.
It's right here.
Most of us don't know how to soul fly while we're alive, but when
No.
you're a soul, you can do it. So now he got to actually go and be there.
Yeah, he'll be right with us the whole time. And I just really want, okay, and now I'm going to start to maybe cry. Not maybe. I just really want to acknowledge my husband in that moment because I don't know how I would have reacted if it were me in the same situation, but the way that John was so embracing of his gratitude for his dad. And I mean, and I saw it the whole time because we were so blessed to like been gifted this really cool experience at this really nice place for his birthday. And it was amazing. And I kept seeing, I mean, like without saying a word, I mean, John and I have known each other since we were 16. So he doesn't have to say words anymore.
Yeah.
Without saying any words, I could see the moments in his face when he was loving his dad or thinking of his dad or, and then I would see things that would come through and it was like, this is Al, this is that moment or whatever that is. It was John's words. He was the one who said, I'm going to celebrate my dad's life today. And I will continue to celebrate my dad's life every year on my birthday.
Oh,
Like he says, like, how blessed am I that I get to celebrate my life and my father's life every year on my birthday. Like,
well, and what an eye-opening and beautiful perspective for a lot of people who don't have well practice of discovering the positivity in situations and being able to choose how you want to connect. And again, like you said, you get to choose either way, but like to get to choose for him to not be like, oh man, my birthday's coming up. Like I really, like, or my dad's passing is coming. But instead he's going to be looking towards that with joy. And I hope that you guys make every occasion, like just keep trying to top it Eagle style,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It's very,
We will.
Yeah.
Al will.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy he was
Yep.
too. So he will. He'll make
Yep.
sure. But yeah. Yeah.
So it's been a lot. And then your mom's.
Then my mom's sister passed just a couple weeks after that,
Yeah.
which again, I was here
Yep.
sitting in your kitchen because we had a slumber party.
Because that's what you do when you got kids sometimes. Slumber party.
Yeah. But the way we do it is I also stay the night.
Yeah. It's fun that way.
Yeah. It's better that way. Yeah.
And it's just us having that recognition. So the funeral we were at 3 days ago was Big Al's third service because he has a lot of people who loves him.
Second, but yeah.
Second, but
yeah.
you went to Arizona. Yeah. So the third trip.
Third trip. Yeah. But yeah, his second. So he grew up in Nebraska, so we had one there. So he had family out there, and then here.
Yeah.
He moved out here when he was 18 and lived most of his life here, and so he had lots of friends and
was
and
awesome.
us too.
Yeah.
We're family. You know, his family's out here, some of his family and stuff. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
So we got to sit there and have that celebration, and we're just pouring love into each other and getting to be that support and that community that we need, and having this eye opening for me, just that, wow, we're going to do a lot of deep life together. And you see what type of friendship, like how friendships deepen through tragedy. Again, getting to see, discover the true light from the dark, and just like how we already have an incredible relationship, but like to see how our friendship gets to continue to grow as we continue to support each other, and being family, it brings it even closer. So, we celebrated Meg's birthday on Monday, and that was awesome.
yeah, that was awesome.
You got to have time, and I was the
See
honorary.
another high.
Yeah.
and all these lows.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was so good. I was an honorary, like she had all of her brothers and sisters, and then me. I'm like, I'm a sister too.
Yep.
Sister from
Sister from another mister.
your dad's brother's Mr. I don't know.
Yep.
Let's not try to draw a chart.
Yeah. No, it's too
tricky.
much.
It's tricky.
We'd be up all night.
Yeah. And then the next morning we woke up, and our auntie, I call her Auntie Grandma Vicky,
Yep.
because she is like my kid's grandma. When we found out we were pregnant with Quincy, she was like, are you guys batshit crazy? Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I could see that 100%.
Yeah, you're 38. Like, did you mean for it to happen? You know, like completely with love, but also like there was this look of confusion in her eyes. Like,
Right?
You know how
You're
she does
getting
this?
done. Yeah, oh,
Like,
that's the look
That's
too.
yeah.
Like,
Like,
are you
okay,
sure? Yes.
are you gonna do this? I'm like, well, baby's already in there, Vic. So I'm gonna pop it out, and then I'm gonna have another one. And she's like, you are certifiably insane, and then was enamored with
course.
Quincy
Of
from the
course.
moment. And then when my youngest Witten went through his cancer journey, and Vic started her cancer journey, and her son passed from cancer, there were all these amazing connections through tragedy.
Yeah.
Where her and Witten really got to develop this incredible, beautiful bond.
Yeah.
And we got a call yesterday morning that things weren't looking good, and that she was in the hospital. And we're sitting here sharing with you guys today, just having gone to the hospital, about to go back to the hospital to spend time with our family and our community and our friends, and support each other and support her on this next chapter for her of moving from body to soul, and all of us embracing her soul and letting go of her body.
Yeah.
And we don't know what the next
And each other.
Yeah.
Embracing each other too.
we don't know what the next days or weeks or times going to bring. We don't know what's going to happen when we get off this conversation with you guys. But what we do know, what I know, is that we are all love.
Yeah.
And that's the essence of our being. We are deep down to the molecules of our body, to what we are created of, the atoms. Every atom is one that vibrates for love. And while here we experience tragedy. And from the tragedy, we are able to more recognize the love that's always there, but life moves us from it, and different experiences, different things and thoughts and choices. And the more that we choose love in all times, in good times and challenging times and just straight ass horrible times,
Yeah.
that it seems like we're on this road. I feel that even as we're traversing that together, Megs, we get to hold hands and cry together and also choose laughter and joy. And we're planning our next Mexico trip, and we're embracing everything that we have while we're here, while we're loving on those who are here and those who are not.
Are not right in the physical any longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. That I think that's 100% true. I think that the nucleus of humanism is love. And if we can remember that that's where we all come from, that's where we all come from, that there is no difference from one another. There is no reason we can't continue to connect with anyone in our life or any other person, because we are all made from love. And you're right, we get pulled out easy. I mean, like, it's just like physics. Life spins and you kind of go to the edges sometimes, and that's just the way that it is. But especially in these times, it's a sad but amazing reminder that that's truly what it's about. You know what I mean? And we have been reminded how fragile the human experience is.
I love how you said that.
And I think that it's another reason to be so grateful for all of those other moments. And I think that it's truly in consideration of all those other people who are no longer here, to just to continue to live, to continue to find joy and be grateful and love on all of your people who are here even harder.
Because when they're there, they know, they have the knowing, they have the complete love through and through. And I imagine
They've returned to being just love. Like,
so looking upon us and being in us and shining through us and showing up on as eagles on trees and eagles on trucks, like all of that is to bring us the reminder and bring us back to love. So when Megs and I, right before we started, she's like, okay, how are you doing? Because I've been with Auntie since this morning at 6. And I said, I'm doing really good. I'm in the room with her physical body. I don't feel or see her soul in that room, but I do everywhere else. I feel a peace and a calming, knowing that she is in a space of love, and she is with her son and her family and her Holy Father, and she is in this remarkable space. And now I said, my two big hopes for me is, one, I hope that she passes in peace.
Yeah, because I do, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I do want to just touch on that, because in these moments, people do say, are you holding on to hope? What are you holding on to hope? And I think that sometimes it doesn't need to mean exactly what you think that's going to mean. You don't need to hope for her to live, because even if, especially in maybe this instance, her living would not be
A service
to her, and she wouldn't even be the same person.
Yeah.
So holding on to hope, I think the hope that you're holding on to is awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's the hope we're all kind of holding on to.
And
but
we, like, right away when she was in the hospital, we had the conversations. I'm like, whatever you decide, if you want to come back and be the miracle, because we don't know how much blood flow she lost to her brain. If you want to come back and be the miracle and have the adventures, we are here. We are down for what? We're going to do it all with you. But if you feel at peace with your baby boy and you feel at peace where you are, we're at peace. And we pray. That's what I pray for. I pray for her peace in her passing. And I pray for everyone who is still in their human form to be able to have the faith touch their hearts. Because I think for you and I, it does feel everything's hard. There will be a lot of crying. There's going to be a lot of connection and moments, I know, over the next day and years for us. We got a lot coming up. You guys are welcome. You're here for it. You're going to hear a lot of shit.
And and just praying for those people that are going to have displaced love for Vicky. And that's a hard place to be.
And it was bringing me back to the proof of heaven, not life, that just, you guys, wildly enough, not wildly at all, last week after our message, she quoted something. And I was like, what did you quote from? I want another book in addition to Miracle Morning. Grab the book. I audio listen so I get to listen to things a lot pretty fast. So I finished it yesterday morning. And it's a lot about your NDEs, your near-death experiences. And this is about this neurologist,
Yep.
who you wouldn't think they would be about an NDE, right? Because it's all science, it's all different things. But he actually shares about a 1-week coma where he has complete inactive brain, which means your brain is dead. You don't die when your heart dies, you die when your brain dies. And for a week, they were like, if he comes to, he will not be himself. And this man, it shares his experience going through heaven and what it looks like and what it is and what he feels, and does the best to share that message. And then right after that, our aunt has just been, heart has stopped. She's been resuscitated. I know at that point she has gone through that. And in my heart of hearts, when I got the news, I'm like, I know that she just got to see her son who just passed a year previous to her cancer diagnosis. Just what incredible timing. And for me, it was like this hug around my heart, because these are things that I know, but I'm maybe not as practiced in this moment as I have been previously. And it just brought it to my heart. So thank you, Megs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, God, for bringing, tell me how you found the book.
Yeah. So I was like, so
we promise we're almost done, guys, but this is the last good story.
So it was just Christmas last month. And so we got this new Christmas tree from our neighbor. We have 18-foot ceilings in our living room. And she gave us this really cool 15-foot Christmas tree, right?
So
I'm putting it up, and I put it all the way up, and it's like,
who doesn't want a
leaning,
leaning tower of
right?
Christmas?
So I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. So, the engineering side of my brain was like,
reboot,
go grab some books and just put them under so I grab like 3 books and I stuff them under there, and now it's like the other way. So I'm like removing. So there's like, just needed 1 book, and he just stood up there, that Christmas tree, like this the whole season. And
on one book.
And so I was putting Christmas away, because I'm a getter outer and then a putter awayer.
Yep.
So like the 26th, I'm starting to put stuff away. And I'm putting stuff away, and I grabbed the book that was under there, and I just kind of set it on like by my TV for a second while I'm putting things away, because I want to put the book back on the bookshelf. And then I'm like, oh, well, you know what? I need a book. I'm starting like a new year. I'm going to just read this book.
Read this book. The one that's under the tree. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to ponder what books.
It's right here.
I don't have to go downstairs.
Yeah. And it was proof of heaven. That's what it was. And it's an amazing, interesting read. It's an easy read. I felt like it was really easy to read. And I like that it's coming from someone who isn't like, I'm a Christian believer. You know what I mean? Where he like went through this thing, because I think that's an important perspective of that.
Yeah.
And and same thing we were talking about yesterday. I said, thank you for bringing that book into my life right now, because I have had peace with all of this stuff, knowing that that's where they get to be.
Yeah. It's been like a warm hug.
Yeah.
A warm hug because of a leaning Christmas tree, because this is that butterfly effect, because your neighbor decided to get you one because you had 15-foot ceilings, and all of a sudden
they were moving away. Like, we can't take this. Yeah. I mean, boom, 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 boom.
And here we are. And that's, I think, just a great message and space to wrap up, you guys, is seeing that perspective reveals miracles. Oh, I just took my sweatshirt off. I was like, I have to wear my perspective reveals miracles shirt today, because when you notice those little gifts that God gives you, those little winks throughout your daily schedule, there is more gratitude and love that fills your heart, even when you're in the midst of the stuck and the sticky and the icky and the
sticky
tragedy.
icky.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The sticky icky.
Means something different than it did when I was younger.
Yeah, that's right. See, bringing it right back to the sticky icky adult mature-ish moms.
Mature-ish.
We're gonna go be rather mature now. Thank
Yeah.
you guys for giving us a little break in the beginning to just laugh our little faces and spaces off. And we're gonna pour into our family and our loved ones and just hold our auntie's hand and do what we get to do next.
Do what we get to do.
Yep.
And be there together.
Yep. And we know now when we say goodbye, first we say, I love your guts.
I love your guts. I love your
I
guts.
love your guts. But then what do we say, Mace?
Bye for now.
Bye for now. Bye for now, guys. Love you.
Thanks for joining, and don't forget to subscribe and, of course, share with your friends. Guys, that's how we impact more lives. All right, see you next time.